who worked hard to get this event organized. Our graduation is even more memorable because you have put your time and effort into putting this together. Your effort means a lot to us.
Thank you for sticking with us until the end of the journey. Welcome to our graduation.
All right, please bow your heads as we have an opening prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you that we all get to come together today to celebrate the four of us as we end a chapter and start a new one. Help this to go smoothly, and we love you, amen.
Hello, it's good to see everybody. Glad you could come out this evening.
Can we say congratulations to the graduates and, of course, all of the parents and all of the support group that each one of you have had. It's hard to believe that having gone through this year, this is our second graduating class of the OAC, right? And last year's graduation got cut a little short, right? It was a crazy time, and we didn't have the opportunity to come together in person to congratulate. And so we're really excited. We wanted to thank all of you for your support of the OAC, right, and the new initiative that's happening. We ask you to continue to support us and our graduates.
So we're really excited that we have 3 graduates tonight that have been with us from the beginning. We have Annabelle Nelson, Israel Conway, and Elijah Bloom have been with us since we first had this idea, and so we're excited about that. And we were excited to have Nolan Arvidsson join us this last year as a senior. So we just thank you for coming out tonight, and enjoy.
Thank you.
Oh, I did want to introduce our speaker while we were up here. Pastor Chad Bernard is the youth director for the Michigan Conference. He's been a longtime friend to Jason and I, and we're thrilled that he came this evening to speak to our graduates. So you can welcome him when he comes up.
It's really good to see all of you here this evening. I have the privilege of being my official title is the mentor facilitator here at the OAC. And what that basically means is a lot of different roles, actually. I'm the secretary, maybe, the coach, the tutor, the teacher. It's facilitator. I facilitate whatever needs to be done between the administration and then with the parents, with communication, things of that nature. And so it's been an honor for me to be here the last 3 years with these students. And they have asked me, as we do this dedication part of the ceremony, they said they wanted me to read it. And so I have the honor to read their speeches as they come up and get flowers for those that they felt were significant parts of their lives, or that they wanted to, truly appreciate with these flowers. So I'm going to start with Nolan's, and we borrowed this actually. I think at GLA they also do this kind of ceremony. They as they read, they come up and get flowers, and then they bring it to the people that they want to give it to. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. Nolan, if you can come up here. Nolan Arvidsson hails from South Lyon. How old are you?
18.
You're 18 years old. He loves to walk on the beat. No, I was kidding. He's a bright young senior, single still, and I'm just gonna go ahead and read and go ahead and grab the flowers, and then as I read it, all right. Nolan Arvidsson starts like this: "Welcome, friends, family, and teachers that helped me get to where I am today. It is an honor to be standing before you on such a memorable occasion. 4 years ago, we started on this journey called high school, where we all had one goal in mind, and that was to make our mark on not only our school, but to make our mark on the world as well. We all have different career choices, but we're all bound by the same common cause, and that is to graduate. And today we made that goal. even if there were a few bumps along the way. But life is full of ups and downs. You just need to remember why you started. My message to the underclassmen, if there is one thing I wish I knew earlier in life, it would be this. So listen up, underclassmen. Success does not come to you. You go to it. Success does not come to you. You go to it. Work hard and stay persistent, because it will all be worth it in the end. I'll end by saying thank you to my parents for everything they've done for me over the years. Without their help, I'm not sure if I would have made it this far in life. I would also like to thank my friends and the OAC staff. It has been an amazing journey with all of you this year, and I'm glad for the time we got to spend together. I've learned a lot this year, not just from my classes, but from my friends, family, and teachers. And for them, I am forever grateful. Our next person is Elijah Bloom. Elijah, I remember when Elijah was just yay tall, and now he's taller than me. And he's a pretty good server in volleyball as well. We've been playing volleyball, and he's pretty much got better than both Mike and I, and that's pretty amazing. And I just want to appreciate Elijah for his hard work. He's always been helpful around the OAC. But yeah, I'm gonna read your letter here. Are you ready? All right. I would like to thank everyone for coming. First, I would like to address the people I am handing my flowers to. Mom, thank you for helping me learn how to work hard. I think back to the nights of sitting and doing math way past when you should be in bed. I admire how hard you work for me and Audrey, and know you always want the best for us. Next, thank you, Dad, for teaching me patience and not giving up on something I can't pick up immediately, even when I want to. You have helped mold me into the man that I need to be. Lastly, thank you, Grandma, for everything you have done for me. You put so much effort into raising the cousins and I don't think that I have properly shown you how much that means to me. Without you three, I know that I would not be the person I am now. I've learned a lot these 3 years at the OAC. A piece of advice I would give to other students here is to not get lazy. Did you hear that? Not get lazy. You will learn that there will not be anyone who will tell you to do what you need to do. OAC has taught me a lot of academic responsibility that I needed to have. I learned that while your grades are important, don't lose sleep over the bad ones. Take opportunities that you encounter, but don't be afraid to tell people no. Don't get caught up in drama. Save your energy for things that matter. Again, thank you all for coming. Amen. Amen. All right, Belle. Belle's the rose among thorns. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing, guys. Belle, I remember you as well, being so young, and I'm just really proud of you, for making it this far. And we have your back. I have your back with wherever you're going to go in the next transition in life. So yeah, I'm gonna read your letter here, Belle. To the special people in my life who have made it possible for me to be where I am today, I feel it is only right to start with my life giver. Mama, I know I am not the best at expressing emotions or telling you how much you mean to me. For all those unsaid thank yous and I love yous, thank you for being patient. No matter if we were in an argument or not, you would always help me. Thank you, Mama, for your support throughout all my years of life, for sharing all my triumphs and all of my tears. Thank you so much, Mama, and I love you. On to my dearest father. You always know just how to make me laugh and smile. From meeting my friends and sharing stories that happen at work, thank you for all the memories and making me laugh, no matter how sad I was. To both of my parents, here is an I love you and a thank you for raising me into the sarcastic girl I am today. Denver, despite all the grief I give you, thank you. You have helped me even when I refuse to accept. And here's to all of our quarantine Big B trips, and hopes to many more in the future. Grandma Diana, or Grandma One Feet, thank you for the consistent rides for the last 11 years. We still need to work on your snacks in your office, because cuties don't count as good snacks. Grandma Linda, thank you for the support and for driving me to work for the last couple of years. Now to the Frarys. Are the Frarys here? Oh, there they are. Thank you for being with me since 5th grade, for listening to me no matter how crazy I probably sounded. You were there for me through some of the hardest times in my life, and I can honestly say I wouldn't be who I am today without your help. Thank you for being just one call away. With leaving the OAC, I will miss many things. And just to name a few, I will miss the wonderful tutoring sessions with Uncle Mike and Fiona and eating Stacy's bagel chips. I will miss doing homework and listening to country tunes with Audrey in our ghetto kitchen. And most of all, I will miss the chaotic volleyball games. Thank you for all the memories that I will have. Thank you, Belle. Let's give her a round of applause. And last but not least, Israel, Conway. Actually, I know you too, since you're smaller too, and it's a privilege to be the facilitator here and see your growth as well, Israel. I know that God has great things in store for you as well. Yeah, I'm gonna read your letter. This one's a little bit longer, so and you have a lot more flowers to give. So, all right. It feels like a week ago, I entered the classroom of Mrs. Sally Smith, my 1st grade year at the Ann Arbor Middle School, then woke up yesterday to graduate. Time is such a precious thing. You got it, then you don't. Some know how to use it, and others don't. It took me 7 years to realize I was a major procrastinator. When I learned this, I procrastinated even harder, and once you dig yourself into some pretty big holes, it becomes very hard to get out. Thankfully, I had the tools I needed to break that habit, or at least catch myself in the middle of playing Destiny, so I could finish an assignment. Oh, the classmates I have had over the years, having to learn how to connect with all these people who are so different, build some serious communication skills in you. All the conversations my sister Abby and I would have about our interaction with classmates makes me cringe. High school made me realize that either you can wake up a fake or you can put your big boy pants on and just be you, however silly that might sound. Cherish the people you are around. Learn something from them. Give a little something back, and that relationship will turn into something great. The first person I would like to thank is my Heavenly Father. There are plenty of things only He and I will ever truly understand about me. You are there in the highs, hanging out with me and keeping me positive. You are there with me in the lows, carrying my baggage. And when people have burned me, you remind me of countless others who hold me near to their hearts, including you. I have tripped over myself so many times, and while I complain about being unworthy of the countless things you have given me, you are always there to snap me back to reality. You love me. So while a flower won't be enough, I know my heart is what you really want. So I dedicate myself to you again, in hopes that you will continue to be my Father, best friend, and Savior. People is not just the name of my family's favorite song. It is a reminder of me, of how blessed I am to be surrounded by such awesome people. I'm not sure everyone I mentioned will be able to have flowers, but flowers die anyway, and I think hugs are pretty good too. So meet me afterward. Being a teenage boy is pretty hard. It's no joke. It's always good to have someone like yourself around who you can relate to and get advice from on how to approach that one girl you like. Some of you may know him as the son of Shakespeare, Blake Toussaint. I never had the privilege of having an older brother, and I know you are the baby of your home, but I just want to let you know that I look up to you and will never forget the great times we have had. You and your family have a special place in my heart, bro. The Three Musketeers, the boys, and whatever people used to call us. 3 years ago, my parents told me I would be attending the new Oakwood Academic Center, or as it was called for 2 months, the Adventist Academic Center. But only the OGs know about that. As soon as my dad said, "Oh, I think Eli and Owen will be there too," All my anxiety went away for some reason. A class trip filled with memories of Mrs. Drapiza, mac and cheese, super fun volleyball games, hours spent goofing off, not doing work, and 3 new additions later. The crew moves on. Thank you, boys, for making this journey so much fun. Someone out there said, distance makes the heart grow fonder. Someone also said, it takes a village to raise a child. 2 hours used to seem like such a drag whenever we got into the car and traveled to Cleveland, Ohio. But as I have grown, I learned it's worth the wait. From Conway to Walker to Wheat to Bishop to every name under the sun that I have somehow, I know that I am truly blessed to have such a loving and large extended family. From the car gurus to the bed and breakfast to the ones who know exactly what movies to watch and where to get the best fried chicken on the planet, we all know the pain of having one of Cleveland's most iconic foods stripped away from us. R.I.P. HSW. If you know, you know. I'm still a piece of work, but you all love me anyways. And even if you don't notice it, thank you for shaping me and molding me into the man I am today. By now, I must be crying, but if I'm not, at some point the well will have to break. Finally, I stand here not sure if I told you all that I love you enough. So many things could be different, but here we are. You might think to yourself, did I do enough? No. God knows where you are from, and he understands your flaws. You have done your best. Take a deep breath and enjoy the moment. You taught me from a young age that people are more important than things, and that I should treat people the way I want to be treated. 19 years later, here is the product of your blood, sweat, sleepless nights, hours of prayer, and a couple of spankings for good measure. What is a godly man? I ask myself. God turns me to my father. What is a godly woman? I ask. God points me to my mother. A 12-year-old boy freezing on a basketball court somewhere around Ypsilanti with his dad telling him to keep moving, son, and the day he cried his eyes out on his mother's shoulders because he was frustrated with school will forever be engraved in my mind. Someone taught me that sometimes life hurts, but giving up and doing nothing gets you freezing fingertips and toes. The other taught me that sometimes I just need to lean on someone else, pour out my frustration in tears because I can't do everything on my own. You push me, you prod me, you show me what friendship looks like. Mom, Dad, I love you. I love you. I love you. And I know there are some who might be thinking, am I just dinner leftovers or something? No, you are not. You know who you are, and I love you for that thing you did when I was some age. You are a part of this story, too. To the underclassmen, I will say this and only this. Don't let anything interfere with the culture that is the Oakwood Academic Center. As Mr. Drapiza has said before, we have to make sure nothing gets lost in translation. Once we leave, it is up to you to carry on the culture and install it into the next class. It's going to be awkward sometimes, but don't let the torch go out on your watch. Thank you for your speeches, seniors. At this point, we have a montage, a slideshow that we're gonna play here. And if you can turn up the volume.
I mean, we would always reminisce about that. You know, like the how much fun we had. Like it was just us in a room. We were just chilling, and yeah, we just goofing off. Yeah, that was amazing.
Well, one of my favorite things we did here this year was going to all the park trips we did, and to all the different parks to play volleyball and then get lunch afterwards.
Awesome. Right now, obviously many people have invested in you, and there's one or two people that you want to give a shout out to. Who would they be and why?
I feel like the obvious answer would be my parents or grandparents, but outside of the obvious, I'd probably say Uncle Mike and Laura and Tom Furry. As to why, all of the tutoring sessions Uncle Mike put me through and making me redo assignments so I had to show my work, or drilling me with volleyballs. And Laura's just, since 5th grade, has been there for me, and now I'm graduating, and she's to this day still someone I talk to.
I would say my parents, my mom and my dad. I wouldn't be where I am today without them. So I would say a lot of the credit goes to them. My father would be the one person, like, just always pushing me. You know, he instilled in me like an attitude of, you can always do better. You can always improve. Whether that be, taking me to the basketball court early in the morning, when it's freezing cold, or when I come home and I'm just really down about maybe an assignment I turned in and didn't get paid. Just tell me, hey man, this isn't the end. You can always improve, you can always get better. You can learn from this. So yeah, it'd be my father.
Probably both my parents. They really pushed me to get through this year and just really wanted me to do good in school and really motivated me, but also Eli helped me a lot this year to get through school.
If there was one quote, adage, or phrase that you live by and that you want to pass down to the underclassmen, what would that be?
It's 2 quotes by John Wayne. One is, life is tough, but it's tougher if you're stupid. And the other is, courage is being scared to death, but still doing things anyways.
I would say to give yourself the credit you deserve. Don't let other people take credit for things that you've done. I would say organize your life as early as possible. I learned it late, and I had so many things that were piling up. As you will learn, here. But when you learn to do that, things go a lot smoother for you. Whether that be making a schedule for yourself or learning what things are more important than others. Whether this class, I should spend more time on this class to this class, or whether I just spend more time studying in one thing than another. That would be my advice, yeah.
Probably smooth seas never made good sailors, and what I mean by that is it's tough, but you can get through it, and the harder you work, the better it'll be for you.
Just want to say congratulations to the class of 2021. I couldn't be more proud of all of your accomplishments and the growth we've seen each and every one of you, personally, and emotionally, academically, and spiritually. I'm going to miss you here at the OAC, but I'm excited to see how you choose to utilize your talents and your gifts to make a difference on this planet.
Hey, OAC. You guys made the best of what was a super crazy year for everybody, and congrats on finishing strong. I really enjoyed getting to know all of you this year and eating pizza, playing volleyball, and talking about the things that really matter. So enjoy your summer. It's well earned. Seniors, as you acknowledge God's leading in your life, His existence, his purpose for you, his promise that he will direct your path. So go out there and get it by God's grace. Wish you guys all the best and have a great summer.
Hello, class of 2021. This is Pastor Conway saying congratulations to you. I trust and believe that the best is truly yet to come in each one of your lives. God will be with you. I'm praying with you and for you. God says, fear thou not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. Yes, I will uphold you with the right hand of my righteousness. Enjoy the journey. And again, congratulations.
Hey guys, and Annabelle, and ladies. I just want to wish you guys a blessed next transition in life, this next segment in life. Right after graduation, there's going to be, a lot of things that happen. Maybe relationships, maybe going to school or college or trade school. But one of the things that I really want you to remember is just to continue to abide with Jesus. You guys are probably sick of all my worships that I give, but I hope that that's something that you'll continue to remember. I've enjoyed all the things that we've done together, from volleyball to tennis to class trips and eating together and going to the park. I pray that you would be able to kind of disciple the next generation, the next people under you as well. And it's an important thing for us to continue to remember to abide with Jesus. You're probably sick of my worship talks, but continue to abide in him and you will bear much fruit. I'm really gonna miss you all. I've seen you all grow so much within the last year and over your whole life, really. And I'm just excited to see where God is going to lead you. But until we meet again, God bless and continue to keep your eyes focused on him.
Congratulations. It was wonderful. I want to talk to you this evening in just a few minutes, and I want to tell you some things that I think are on the hearts of the people that are here. First of all, you have been extremely blessed to be surrounded by such an amazing community. And I think you get it because I heard you mention it, how they have basically poured their lives into yours so that you could be successful. But here's what this is what they know, and this is, I think, most people who are old, like myself, get, is that, 15 minutes, 15 days, in the near future, you're going to get the leash taken off. Your whole life, you've been on a leash. Some of you still ask if you can do different things. Maybe you don't, and they wish you had a tighter leash. I don't know. But this is what happens across the country. Seniors in high school get the leash taken off of them. And you really can't tell if a dog's a good dog or not when they're on leash. Say, oh, this dog behaves me. You got them on a choke chain. You ever seen these pit bulls? Like, isn't he a wonderful dog? You know, and he just stands right next to me. He's like, no, he's not really. You're on leash. And then you take them off, and they're gone. But here's what happens. A lot of young people, they get off the leash, and they're gone, and you never see them again. People used to say when I was a principal, man, your seniors are so amazing. I said, well, come see me in a year, and I'll let you know. We'll find out once I get off leash. Because here's what we know. The world doesn't care about you at all. They will chew you up and spit you out. Where a family protects you, tries to give you counsels, tries to talk you out of that relationship. This is why this guy is no good for you, even though you're not listening. This is why she is Delilah. Her name is Delilah, for crying out loud, you know. And you're like, I ain't listening. But the world just flat out doesn't care. And some of you will learn because you just process that way. They'll tell you something and you'll just understand it like, I don't need to experience to get it. But some of you need to get really hurt, bad, beaten up, dragged around in the mud, just beaten up before you realize that's a bad idea. And we hope that it's not so terrible that it will ruin you for life. But in the next, according to the data, 6 to 18 months, you're going to be making some major decisions, either to draw closer to Jesus or not, to draw closer to your family or not, to walk down the aisle for graduation or not. And I just wish that somehow you could bottle what I just watched and experienced and realize that everything good comes from the Lord. Don't forget how much this church has invested in you because they absolutely love you. That's it. And a lot of times people go through life, they're looking for love. So I'm going to sound like a country song. Looking for love in all the wrong places. Looking for love, right, Raj? So, not that you did, I'm just talking about country music, but because she is, amen. All right. But my point is, you don't need to go looking for what is so clearly presented before you here. And we would hope that you would not live your life as a consumer Christian. You don't treat the church like McDonald's, and then when they don't have the number 2 in stock or number 4 or whatever your thing is, you get cranky. I'm going to Burger King, you know, or whatever. That you'll actually be a contributor. I mean, I see Larry Sendow, just to pick on him. Jason, Michael, these guys that are, I mean, they're pouring their time, your pastors, they're pouring their time because they're not consumers, because they realize that life is not about them. It's about living a life of Christ and serving others. And I just pray that that's something you would do. Because when it all comes down to it, it's all about family, and that's it. I'm gonna show you what I mean. I like all four of you. Nolan, just go down. Actually, I'm gonna have, Nolan, go down there. Eli, just turn around, stand up, and turn around. Stand up and face the congregation. Israel, come right over here. And then Belle, I want you to come over here on the end. Okay, I want to show you what I mean when it's all about family. Go ahead and face the crew here at the congregation. All right, if you have seen, changed, and actually, if you have changed one of the graduates' diapers, please stand up. All right, see, this is love right here. Okay, well, there's a lot of, you guys must have worn a lot of that. Now, you just identify who is your diaper changer. Just out of curiosity, just for fun, is there anyone here that has changed multiple graduates' diapers in this? Okay, just checking. I didn't know if there's cross diaper changing here. All right, stay standing, All right, if you fed any of these graduates, please stand up. If you fed them, whether you've taken them through the drive-through or made something yourself. All right, If you bought something from these graduates that you really didn't even want, but they look so pathetic, you gave them money, please stand up. Yeah, if you've prayed for any of these graduates, please stand up. This is what family looks like. If you want them to be successful in their lives, please stand up. This is what family does. Okay, you can sit down now. Not the graduates, you keep standing. This is what the abundant life is like. Family doesn't run when you start to smell. Amen? Family doesn't run when it gets uncomfortable. Family doesn't run when you need to be put in check. Family gets into your face and calls you what you really are, because that's what we do. I get so annoyed when I hear young people say, I'm sick of the church. They tell me when I'm wrong. Of course they do. That's what family does. Smack you in the back of your head and tell you to get right with Jesus. And here's the place to do it, because we're family. Don't walk away from family. Amen? I'm going to invite the parents of these graduates. I don't know what COVID regulations are for this church, so if I say something that's inappropriate, just ignore me. I mean, like, don't obey, whatever, but if it's okay, then if you're the parent of the graduates or someone who's, it's okay for you to touch them, I want you to come up and stand next to your graduate right now. We're going to do something to be able to do that. So parents, like I said, if you're able to be around your graduate, do that right now. I need you to understand this. These people that are standing next to you right now, you'll never not look like that little baby that couldn't talk, that couldn't fend for themselves. They'll always look at you that way. I know you're taller than, at least in heels, you're taller than them. You're maybe, certain levels more intelligent in different areas or whatever. I don't know. But you will always be their child. And because they're fantastic parents, I actually know all your parents. This is super cool. Again, I'm old. And since the day you were born, they were begging Jesus that you wouldn't be an idiot, that you would be successful, that they didn't have to visit you only on Wednesdays and late Fridays. No, but they would be successful, but most importantly, that you would have a relationship with Jesus and that you could be family for eternity. And so I think it's super appropriate right now that we would ask the greatest Father in the universe to bless you. So we're going to ask God to do that. And I'm gonna, if you're comfortable, if you're able to do the graduates, I'd like you to kneel, not the parents, but have the graduates kneel if that's possible. Again, yeah, thank you, Belle. And then parents, I want you to lay your hands on your child. And I'm going to just have a word of prayer, and then I'm going to just stop. It'll just be quiet, and when I stop talking, I want to encourage, whether it's mom or dad or both, it doesn't matter. I want to give you an opportunity to pray a blessing over your child as they move forward. That they would never forget how important family is, the eternal family led by our Father in heaven. Amen? So when I give you that opportunity, I'm gonna pray here. Invite the congregation to close their eyes, bow their heads, and let's ask for that blessing. Lord, thank you for OAC. Thank you for this amazing church community where we can just raise our young people up to love you more than anything. And Lord, I lift up Nolan and Eli and Israel and Belle to you. These amazing young people. They're so awesome. You've got the perfect plan for them. And I just ask that your will would be done in their lives. And Lord, I'm so thankful for their families. And I just want to pause right now and give them an opportunity to pray this blessing over their kids, that they would love you, and to maybe spend some time praising you for this moment together as a family of God. So Lord, hear their prayer at this time. Lord, thank you for being a good Father. Thank you for hearing the prayers of these parents, not just tonight, but for all their lives. Continue to hear their prayers. Continue to act. Continue to be the center of their families. For all eternity is my prayer in Jesus' name, amen. I just want to, in closing, and parents, you can have a seat, thank you. I want the graduates just continue to stand and face this congregation, just so that they can get this visual. If you're willing to, and I'll just have you raise your hand, if you're willing to pray for these graduates going forward, raise your hands. If you're committed to supporting them by sending them cookies or any type of baked goods, raise your hands. You guys want to get a picture of that right there. But seriously, in the next 12 months, if you're committed to checking in and saying, how are you doing? Are things okay with you? How can I help? I want you to know I'm with you. If you're willing to support them that way, raise your hand. Stay with these amazing young people. God has a mighty plan for them. And I'm excited to see how it all works out. And in 1 year from today, we will look back and say, God is so good. Amen? Amen. Thank you. You may be seated.
that I'm feeling. Lord, I can't preach, but I know something's missing. Nowhere to fight, back to the beginning. So until we meet again, I'ma keep a smile, 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 smiling. We could be miles apart, but you know I'm never too far, my friend, until we meet again. Gonna find light for facing tomorrow. No one said faith is something to borrow. Love is no place for living in that sorrow. Leave it to kings and no one but follow. So until we meet again, I'ma keep a smile, 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 smiling. We could be miles apart, but you know I'm never too far, my friend, until we meet again. Times that it feels like it's impossible, but every time, yeah, I find my strength in you. There may be times that it feels like you just hate the world. There may be times, there will be times. So until we meet again, I'ma keep a smile, 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 smiling. We could be miles apart, but you know I'm never too far, my friend, until we meet again. My friend, until we meet again.
So it's the time you've all been waiting for, right? So very patiently. It's to get your hands on that diploma. So I want to invite up here Mr. DePisa and Mr. Sendow and Mr. Bernard. And there have been other people a part of this too that I want to make sure up here. Pastor Jared, please, if you could join us up here, right? And Pastor Conway, sir, if you could join us up here also. So as Mr. Mike has said to you time and time and time again, we live and we die by the team. And as a team, we've gotten here tonight. And that's why we wanted to make sure our team is represented here. And also, as Mr. Bernard has reminded us, this is a family. And so family, this is your opportunity, right? This is where the pictures come, right? So I want you to know that if you want to come up and get a picture, this is your time. Just come on up and get a picture, right? So we're going to start with the presentation of the diplomas, right? Our first graduate, Nolan Jacob Arvidsson. Our next graduate, Elijah Gregory Bloom. This is one of my favorite names when I heard this name for the first time. This is an awesome name. Israel John Walker Conway.
Annabelle Diana Nelson. Graduates, before you sit down, to signify now that you have graduated, right, we want you to remove your tassels from one side to the next. Congratulations. You can be seated.
All right, and before we have closing prayer, we as seniors just wanted to say a couple words to very important people and that just deserve their own little moment. So as we close our night, I just said that, never mind. We'll start with Mr. Sendow. Mr. Sendow, you helped us over the last 3 years. Mr. Sendow, throughout our time here, has been both a teacher and a friend, from helping us with behind work, early work, middle work, and to letting us beat him in games. He's pushed us, he's offered advice with various situations that we've been through, so just thank you. Next, we have Mr. Hamstra, who would come in and teach us physics. Mr. Hamstra would have to come in for all of the sciencing because that's just too difficult. So thank you for the tutoring, the pushing us, and helping us get to where we are. And then lastly, I was doing so good. Lastly is my uncle. About to do this real quick. You started the school, so you are literally the reason that we are where we are today. No matter how far away you were, you would help us with everything that we needed, and you did way more behind the scenes than we can possibly imagine. So to that, I say thank you. And for all of the crazy tutoring sessions as well. So thank you to all for contributing to our education and overall success, for having faith and supporting us over the years. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for helping us get to where we are today. But I have one more special thank you to Mr. Bloom, who provided us with a lot of AC when it was broken. So thank you for being our handyman.
Thank you, everyone, for attending the graduation of the 2021 class of the Oakwood Academic Center. I'll remind you that outside there is a meal that's prepared for everyone. If you go out these doors here on the right, as you exit, you'll find it in the parking lot in the back. Please bow your heads as we close. Father in heaven, Lord, thank you so much for this opportunity you've given us to come together and to celebrate the accomplishments of this class, Lord. I ask that as we leave this place that, Lord, you would leave with us, that we would take you wherever we go, that we would not forget all of the people, the experiences, Lord, that you have given us. And God, just, Lord, carry us, Lord, through this life. It's going to be rough, I know, but just Be with us, Lord, as we go into this next stage in life. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.